Right. Okay. The idea of today originally was to do the renewal process, but as we've sort of had some twos and pros with Google recently, I thought it might be better to start with that today, and then we'll go on to the renewals afterwards. Um, Perhaps the first thing to sort of say is, why do we use um, Google to send out our emails? Well, we found over the years that it's a more reliable, and the success rate is better with getting someone like trusted like Google to send the emails rather than send them direct. So uh, that's why we do it. And obviously, it does. It creates a few confusions to start with, and but I think it's worthwhile doing. Um, just just for reminder, sort of the way in which we decide or set up our the email dispatch. I will share my screen. Right. And the way we dispatch, how we send it or who we send it from is this drop down box here, uh, the email sender. In the email sender box, there's four options in there. Um, Two of them belong to Google, and uh, two of them are for other things. So if we, as far as the Google options are um, concerned, we you can either do it by setting up a Google workspace, um, and if you're a charity, then you can get that from Google free. Um, if you're not a charity, then I think it costs about a fiver a month or something per account. But if you and your volumes are fairly low, you can use Gmail to send out. So you're basically using just a Google account, not a Workspace account, to send it. So that's what Gmail means. Just from sending your emails from just an ordinary Gmail account. The Obviously the workspace. Oh, it now says workspace. It used to say G Suite, so it's now, yeah. So it's a workspace. There is using an account within your workspace to send it. Um, the other two items are one. If I don't know why you might occasionally want to do this. You can actually turn off the dispatch of emails completely. If you use this no email dispatch, that that won't send any emails at all out. So if you if you want to make some changes and you don't want the resulting emails to go out, you can just turn it off temporarily while that happens, and then turn it back on afterwards. And
Chris, would they be saved or would they go ultimately, or they're just not created?
they are definitely not created.
Right.
So if you've done a bulk email or something, and it's gone through the process of sending it, it won't send it. It will record that the email was there. It will record that that you've prepared the email, but it won't send it.
Right.
Um, and the other one here is something that you might want to use in an emergency if you get trouble with your Google account and there's things that you do need to send out. There's this direct dispatch option, and what that does is to send out emails directly from the server. Uh, so there's this third one, direct dispatch, is there if you if desperate and you want to send some out, and your Gmail or your Google or your workspace is not working for any reason, you can try and send it out that way. I haven't done an awful lot. I know it works, but I haven't done an awful lot to see how much sort of volume you can get through it. Uh, so it's something to try maybe to use if in emergencies, but generally I'd suggest that you stick to the Google one, because I think it makes it more reliable. In terms of volumes, I think you can send out for a Gmail account, you can send up to 500 recipients a day. So that could be one email to 500 people, or 500 emails to one person. with Workspace, I think the limit is 20,000, I believe. And so if you obviously if you're a larger user, you might find that you'll breach the Gmail limit. So anyway, right. So the reason for doing this is that we as part of Google have decided they're going to change the way in which we link into them, and you're approaching this thing called OAuth 2, which is a new way of doing it, which means that we've got to make changes. And version 12.1, which is the one which we are testing at the moment, hopefully will finish fairly soon, has got this new dispatch in and new method of dispatch in. And in your test systems at the moment, that new method has been implemented, but it may not be working if we haven't set up an account to link into Google Form. Now, at the moment, I think I've set up 16 out of the 25. So there's about nine U3As that haven't done it yet, and so that's really was worthwhile just going through why we need it and how to do it if you don't know how to do it. So let's have a look at just setting up a Gmail, an ordinary Gmail account is. No, sorry, before I go on, we can't use your current one that you're using for your live system, because that is set up in the old way and is working on your live system in the old way. So what we need is a new account which needs to be configured, and that's something I will do for you if you provide me with the account and access to it, which, as I say, I've done for 16 so far. So if you just want a Gmail account, just doing a Gmail account, it's again, that's quite easy to do. I just, if you haven't done it, I will show you just how to do it. Hang on a minute, I've got to stop sharing. So if you can just if you just go into an ordinary Gmail account, maybe the one that you've already got, so it may well be called Dispatch. I think most people's is called Dispatch. You'll find in the top right corner the sort of definition in your initial probably, or whatever it is here. And if you click on, that probably won't open. Is that open for you?
Yeah.
And so if you just want to set up another Gmail account, it's very easy to do by just down here, you've got add another account. And then you won't have it here because you haven't got it. So you just got to, again, click use another account.
Yeah.
Incidentally, while you're waiting, I found the definitive answer actually to how many you can send. It's 10,000 from each user. So just if you're using Dispatch like we are, you can only send 10,000. It says a day.
All right. Oh, okay.
But there's 4.6 million in a 24-hour period. I take it that's all users. So
it's only 10,000. Okay.
10,000. Yeah, it's got different limits depending whether you're using it directly or through a relay. Of course, we're using it through a relay, so it says each user can send up to 10,000 messages in a 24-hour period.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay. So Workspace meets the larger ones, and I think a Gmail account meets the requirements for the smaller ones, I guess. Right. So if we're just setting up a Gmail Google account, clicking on this here, and then here add another account, and then you're getting choose an account come up now, I guess, are you?
Yeah. Yes.
Good.
Forgot to turn the mic on.
Okay, and then use another account. Yeah. And then it's asking you to sign in, but you're not signing in because you're creating a new one, and you've got a link here which you click on create an account, and I would suggest for your work or business. the latest one sort of offering you the try workspace. But if you're doing a Gmail address, you just click on the right hand side and then set it up as whatever you want to, what a name. Oh, I don't know, treasurer.
Perhaps dispatch 2, wouldn't it?
Say again.
Wouldn't it be dispatch 2?
Well, well, it all depends on what you want to, what you want it to go out as. If you're setting, I think I found that if you set up a workspace account, you can change, although you set it up as any old name, you can decide what you want to use it as. You can say, oh well, I'll use it as dispatch, so you can get it to use your existing one. If you're setting up a Gmail account, then it's going to you can have this, obviously call it anything you like, but I think the emails will go from that account.
Yeah. Okay.
So so you can this is just the name you're giving it to anyway. This is not the email address. You just create an account by just putting a name in here. Doesn't matter what it is, and then you've got to put a sort of date of birth. Now, the only thing to do is to make sure that whatever date you put in it makes you greater than 18, because if you're under 18, it starts turning, Google sort of takes control and turns some things off.
Yeah, and also if it's not your date of birth, make sure you write it down.
Well, do you need it?
No, well, if you decide you're not going to put your date of birth down, some people I know do that, and then they forget what they've written.
Yeah, I know, but will you ever need it again?
I don't know whether they've ever asked me for it. I don't think so, but I'm sure that they may at some time, if you'd lost your account, say.
Yeah. Okay. So you got male, female, rather not say, which is fair enough, but then customized. I'm not quite sure what that means.
Well, that'd be Nate, wouldn't it?
So it's then saying if you can create your own Gmail address here, and then you can type in whatever you want to. So so you may well do it as dispatch too.
Actually, Chris, can I just say, when I was setting it up, because I managed to set one up as a Gmail, when I was trying to give it a new name, it kept set like system admin or dispatch or something like that. It kept telling me that it was too similar to one that's been used already. So I had to do quite a lot before I actually found one it would accept.
Well, that's quite common. See, that's why most people have got numbers in.
Right. This is a workspace one you're talking about, Dee, I guess, is it?
No, it won't be that.
No, it's the one that I did, which is a Gmail one, because I haven't managed the workspace one. That's something different because I can't get the confirmation.
Oh, I see.
Email.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So so maybe yeah. If you're doing a G1, you probably need to put your U3A in there as well, don't you?
Yeah, I managed to do it in the end, I think, because I think that's the one you have used.
Right. Yes.
But you suggested getting a workspace one, which for various reasons I haven't been able to do at the moment, but that's not particularly to do with
because one would imagine that if it's just a Gmail address, Chris, there's a very big chance, I would imagine, that somebody somewhere in the world has already taken dispatch2@gmail.com.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yes. So I think you're going to have to put for a Gmail account. I think you're going to have to put in the name of your U3A, which I've just done there. Dispatch at Bright.U3A. Yes.
You'd be all right with dispatch2 if it was on your domain. So if it's whatever your u3a.co.uk or whatever.
Right. And then create a strong password or any old password. And then, oh dear, okay, we'll skip this for the moment. Skip that.
Chris, what Alan just said then, so if we use the Portmatic domain,
Yes.
so that would still work for the dispatch too, would it?
Well, we'll come back. We'll come because you use Workspace, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll do that one in tick. Yeah, this was the Gmail one.
Okay.
I'll just anyways save that and then once you've done it, you've got your and said, yeah, I agree, and all those agreements. You will now have a Gmail account. Once you get to that stage, you don't have to do anything else except provide me with the Gmail account name and the password, and I'll then do the configuration for it. And once I've done that, I will put what it generates is a great long string of characters, about 50 or 60 characters long, which I will update into your test system, and together with whatever Gmail account you've sent me, that goes into your username, and that then becomes, you then should be able to then carry on using your test system to send out emails from there. So once we got that going, then, and once version 12 is in your system, in your live system, we could then move that one across and use that one for both test and live, or set up another one if you want to, but probably won't bother. It's up to you. Yeah. So that's the so that's setting it up for a Gmail account. The other one is if you've got a workspace account, you start from the same place again, but this time, sorry, you need to go into the admin console up the top here, which you only, so you have to log into one of your administrator accounts for Workspace, otherwise you won't get this top here saying admin console. And once you're in there, password. You're seeing that, okay? Yep,
Yeah.
you are. Yep. And purely here, if you got it nicely open, you got your users all presented here, and then you can simply do it by adding a new user. And that's it, really. New user.
The only thing you can do, Chris, is to assign them to I forget the wording now. Is it unit? I think something like that.
Sign into what? Sorry.
Yeah, like there's units. If you look, you'll find I've split it up into various things. I've got leaders, committee.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Right.
If that's of any value to anybody.
So okay, and then you've got your username, or for there you've got, and then the password which you just copy, and you've got there. And so again, what I need is that password and that account to be able to get in there. I have had some difficulty getting into some of the accounts, and it seems to vary from one that some I can get in very easily, and others it's taken me ages to get in. So, with lots of requests for backup telephone numbers and verification codes. But so if we start off with that, so all I need from you is tempat cnnu3a.org.uk and the password. So
Chris, it's Eugene at Convington. Just this user you've just created temporary, need any special rights within Workspace?
Well, no, because you've already set when you set up your Workspace account, you will have already set all the SMTP parameters up which apply to the whole of them, and therefore so all the sort of permissions to actually send through that have been done at the Workspace level, which you already have. So in terms of just setting up this additional account, I think that's all that's needed at this stage.
Okay, thanks.
So certainly, Neil, you've done yours through here, and
yeah. Oh yeah. Like you saw, we got 57 users.
Yes, no, I meant you've done you've tested the new version 12 through using Workspace.
Yes.
And I think Richard has done it, and Laurie as well, I think.
Yeah.
And Eugene as well, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah, and I've done quite a lot using just a Gmail account because I don't have a workspace account. So I think we've got to the point where it works now. So if those who haven't sent them to me will do, then I'll get on and set all the rest up. As I said, your test system won't work until I've done that configuration.
Well, I take it you don't need an account from me now.
I think you sent me two anyway, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
So I will use the other one to set up what we need to do. So yeah, no, I don't need anything more from you. No.
Lovely.
Chris, have you got to put this all live at one point as a version?
Yes, it'll be a new release. It's 12.1. So hopefully we'll get that. I say I've got a couple more issues to sort out, but fairly minor ones. So hopefully that will be there and available for people within a week or so. We can carry on using Google go across to it officially, I think, on the 1st of June. But I think we can start using it whenever we want. So in the next couple of weeks, hopefully I'll sort of send out a note and say, do you want to go to it? Because we're ready to go.
Looking forward, as you know, we've got the new one you've just outlined here called Dispatch Test, and we use that on the test system. Our existing live system uses Dispatch at Congleton.
Yeah.
So when we implement 12.1 on live, can we continue using the Dispatch and you'll sort of convert that?
Yes, Chris, because that's what I did. And remember when I found that you could actually put anything you liked in once you've signed in using the one that you've created, like in Congleton's case, Dispatch Test. As long as that's the one you use to sign in or to actually give you access, you can put what you like in the other, what it's from, and it just appears like that in the emails that you send. So, for instance, ours is Dispatch 1, is the one that Chris has been working on. I can put Dispatch in the whichever the email username.
Yes. So you've got two things. So you've got three addresses here.
Yeah.
You've got the username, which is the one that you're going to send me and I'm going to set up. You've got the dispatch address,
Yeah.
which is the one that you just put dispatch in.
Yeah.
That's
right.
And that views, but I think that only applies to workspace.
Does it? Right, because that just not only does it tell the recipient that it's come from Dispatch, it actually stores them in Dispatch, which I was
Yes, it
surprised
does.
at.
Yeah, absolutely. So even people, even Gmail account, email accounts that that you can't use the reply tos. If it replies to, it will reply back to Dispatch and
That's
not
right.
back to.
Not the sender, not the sending one. No.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
With Workspace, it loses the sending one, which is what you want.
Yeah.
But with Gmail, it doesn't, and therefore it definitely comes out as the one that you set up. And so, I think a couple of them have been set up with do not reply, so people don't reply to a monitored email address.
Yeah.
I got slightly confused there. The Dispatch Test we've got, when we use it on the test system, the mails go out from and can be replied to Dispatch Test at Congleton. When we go on live, where it's Dispatch at Congleton, they go out from Dispatch Test and you reply to Dispatch Test.
No, they reply to whatever you wrote in the dispatch address.
Here, this dispatch address here usually there. So if you put dispatch in there, that's what it'll go out as. It does avoid having to tell or everybody else that you actually managed to change it.
If we told them to put that in the safe senders list, you could carry on telling them that.
That was what
Workspace.
Yes.
That was what I was just going to ask. We're not going to have to get 2,200 people all to change their safe senders.
No, it's only an accident that I noticed, but
Yes.
Because I'd forgotten to change one. I thought it's funny. It seems to be coming from Dispatch, even though I've sent it from Dispatch 1.
Yeah. So, but I think for Gmail users, then what we're going to have to do is to go across to a different one to start with, and then we can configure the old one back into the new setup, and then go back to that afterwards. So it's going to be slightly more complicated, if you like, for Gmail users, because but we're going to have to start with a different one to start with. But hopefully within a day or so, or a couple of days, we can actually get it converted back. Right. Okay. So that's all I was going to say on that. So if you can let me have those that haven't, let me have the account, then I'll get on and do those as well. Right. Okay. So the other thing we could talk about today was the renewal process. And so what I was going to do is to start pretty much go through the renewal process just from start to finish and all the various options you've got. Well, stop me if you need to. Right, let's start. So the first thing you've got to make certain that you do when you're going to use the renewal process in the system is to set your membership start year. Well, it's in mine. It's called mem year start, and it goes in as a format as a day month format. So this one's set up to the 1st of September. But clearly you can send it to anything, whatever yours is. So once you've done that, then you need to create your email addresses that are going because what happens is when you start the renewal process, the first thing that happens is that it creates either an email or a letter that's sent to be sent. In fact, there are two emails. There's a direct debit email, and there is a standard email, and they are called. Well, mine are called renewal reminder, and as I say, there's a direct debit one, which is a DD renewal email, and in those you can. You've got the normal sort of features that you've got these templates that you can change for. You can put the member's name in. You can put the auto login, or if you want the auto login link, you put in auto login, and there's a loads of them down here, and they're all listed in. Seeing that under yes in these templates here, which you can just copy in if you want to use them. It's the same for the letters. The renew letter format, same sort of thing. Obviously, you'll be putting different things like addresses and stuff like in it, but you have the same options in the letter that you have in the email formats. As I say, there's a so it's up to you. And as far as the letters concerned, the emails obviously are sent by the system at the time you initiate the process, which is probably about a month before, I guess. But in order to get the letters out, in your membership submenu, you should have print renewal letters. And if you do that, then what it'll do, certainly on this one, it sort of prepares a download, which I think in Windows you get this option to save it, so you can just save it, and then they're here in a PDF format, which you can just print out and send off. As well as the letters, you can also print the labels, renewal labels. Again, it's just going to download them into here, and then you can just open them And of course, you've got the settings in systems details to be able to change the sizes of the labels if you need to do that. So this one's set up for what, 8, what, 2 4s, no, 2 10 per page, but you can set them up in any way you want. So that's so the first time when you kick off the renewal process, the first thing that happens is it creates emails and it creates letters. The emails get sent, the letters do when you want them to go. The second part of the thing is that it creates a renewal file in the system, and the renewal file is something you can view using renewal status.
Chris, just a quick question on the email, and Alan, sorry if I'm sort of interrupting you on this one.
No problem.
When you send out the renewal emails, if they haven't got an email address, does it automatically default to a letter?
If you've created a letter in the systems details, it will create, yes, it will automatically set it up in renewal letters.
Yeah.
Right.
Jan, is part of their record, Jan, if they're set up for contact method, telephone and letter, it will generate a letter. If they're telephone, letter and email and goodness knows what else, if it's registered that they've got an email address, they will get an email.
Okay, thank you.
That's right, isn't it, Chris?
Yes, that's correct. Yes. So I think one of the things that people get confused about this list is when you run the renewal process, it doesn't run the renewal for every member you have. It only runs it for people who haven't paid for the year in which you're doing it. So if you're doing it, let's say from the 1st of April and for now, 1st of May, then let's say 1st of May, then anybody who has already renewed for the 24-25 will not get in this list. For instance, joiners who've joined in the last month or so, or since your free period, will already have been members for the year, so they won't appear on here. You can run this renewal process many times as you like. So you could run it on the 1st of March and then change the email format a bit and run it again on the 1st of April, say, and it will only pick it up for people who have not paid. If they've already paid, they will get excluded from this. So I think people have tended to look on this and say, well, not all my members are on the list. Well, no, they won't be. It's only the people who owe money, who haven't yet paid for the year, which will be in this list. And so if you're running it twice, you might end up, you start off with 400 and you might end up with only 200 when you run it the second time.
In which case, Chris, I'm just looking at our system, and the first entry says full membership renewed without gift aid. So they presumably have paid, but they're still showing on this list.
Sorry. Yes. No. Right. Okay. Let me.
Like on yours, in fact.
Yes. So what I should have showed you first is update renewals. So in the update renewals, this is the list of people who haven't renewed in this renewal cycle, if you like. Once you click on it, I'll just click this one, Peter Clive. So if we look at Peter Clive, sorry, yeah, I've got to go renew. Go into renewal status. And now if we have a look at Peter Clive, he's now showing it's not renewed. Why is that then? I did renew him, didn't I?
Yeah.
If I could see him.
I thought
Did you press update? Can I ask a question on that screen? That screen there,
Yeah.
Chris?
With
Why are some of the those little red dots? I think they're clocks actually. Why are some of them red and some of them green?
this is where the auto login has expired. So red
okay.
And if, let's say, somebody phones you up and said, well, I've tried and I've failed, but if you just want to say, oh, well, hang on a minute, give me a minute, and if, let's say, somebody called Anthony Harris has said, if you just click it, it goes green and will now allow him to reuse his auto login again.
It's only when you email though, won't it, Chris? It's not. It doesn't make the one he's used live.
It sends an email, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Does it?
I
I thought so.
I thought it just re-enabled the one in the existing
No,
email.
whenever I've
Yeah,
done
it sends
I
a new
always
email.
Get
Yes,
a
it
new
does.
email.
sends an
Yeah,
email.
we-
All right. Okay.
We
Fine.
found that it says thanks for renewing, but they haven't necessarily renewed. It's the link that's been renewed, not them. But they'll get an email to say
I
thanks
don't
for
think mine
renewing.
do. I probably
Well, is
deleted them all.
Is that a standard form? I'll have a look at that. Is that standard? It sounds like it's a standard.
I don't think mine say that. I think it's just the same as the original one.
I'll have a look. Yeah, it's a way of renewing, refreshing the auto login.
What's the significance of some being in red and some the names being in red and other names being in black?
Gift aid.
Those shown in red are currently registered for gift aid, and suspended members are shown in bold. Andrew, to answer your original question, people will only be in the list if they are within that current cycle. If they've already renewed beforehand, they won't be in the list at all. If they're in the list, then it's because they've come onto in the current cycle, and then it's been clicked here to actually renew them. Okay, but the next bit I'd go on to then is that one of the things, again, what I was going to show you, one thing which once you've sent your renewals, you might well get people coming back and saying, well, I'm a member of another U3A now, and I want to change my type. So let's do this one. This particular guy. So you've sent it out, and you sent out your £14 charge. Oh no, sorry, this one you'll have sent out a £12 charge for him to be, because he's a member of Brighton U3A or something, and he said, no, I'm not on with them anymore. So before he pays, or if he has paid, he said, well, yeah, no, I'm not a member anywhere, and has paid you £14 because he knows what the full membership is. If when you do that, the best way to make certain the system gets updated is use this section here, which opens when you change somebody's membership type. So here we've changed him from open another one to full membership. And what it's saying, next year you've only charged him £12, but obviously it's £14 for that. So make that change here, and then if he's actually paid you the £14, put the £14 in here as well. And if you do that, then it will record the fact he's paid. It will actually keep your finances correct. So if we go into the finances here, you'll see that it's added a £2 charge to for the charges, and also recorded that he's paid £14. Otherwise, you have to do it manually, and it can be a bit of a pain to do that. So if membership changes, best to use the system and use the financial adjustments there, rather than which you could do them by going on the Blue Cross and adding various payments and charges.
Chris, what would happen if somebody's getting credit?
Yeah, I was going to mention that, Neil. That's something, because we don't use the finance package in Peterborough. However, for some strange unknown reasons, I don't understand the finance package, so don't get this wrong, but we don't use the finance package, but people somehow end up in credit.
Yeah, I've
I've not-
got a few because I keep
Right.
trying to get rid of them.
And what we have to do, I was just looking at this, hold on, and I'll tell you where we end up going. We go into the Treasurer's dashboard, and down the bottom,
Yeah,
you have got
members
members
in credit.
overdue
Yeah,
and members
yeah,
credit,
yeah.
and you need to get those both reading to
That's right.
0.000
Yeah.
before you do your renewals.
Yes, I realised that. I was just wondering what it did to the. Does it just deduct it and send them a bill for the balance?
You mean if you haven't?
Yeah, if you've not done it, yeah.
If you don't correct it, yes, it gets all over the place, and they don't get the full
I
charge.
thought not. No, that's what I thought. I'd try and keep
Well,
on top of
No,
it.
no, I don't think that's true. I think the charge will be raised whether they're in credit or not. It may not. It may look as though the total at the bottom there'll not be a full charge.
Oh, right. So I because I always try and go through them to get rid of them because I was bothered that it might say, you know, instead of it charging 15, if they're already 5 in credit, charge them 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we do, Neil.
Yeah.
Are you saying, Chris, we don't have to muck about doing that?
What I'm saying to you is that the actual renewal process, which sends out the email saying you owe 14 quid for your renew, it does not look at the existing financial position before sending it out. It does send that out anyway. Now, the fact is they may be in credit, but they'll still get a thing saying the charge.
Oh, right. So they'll still be in credit. That's what I was bothered about.
Yeah, they may still be in credit.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So the question is why they are in credit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, I do look occasionally. It's a mystery sometimes. Not that many.
No. Yeah, so you're talking about this thing here, credit
Yes,
account.
that's right. Yeah.
On the bottom of the Treasury
Yeah.
dashboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you click on it,
I'd have a list of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you go into each individual
I have
member
to
and
do a manual credit,
and
a
straighten
manual
them up.
debit.
A
Yeah.
debit or a credit, whichever.
yes. Yeah, you sometimes get these ones, these
Yeah,
million.
they're new joiners.
They're joiners who probably have paid, and it never, for some reason or other, it never got confirmed.
Right.
In a test system, obviously, it happens quite a lot because
Yeah,
it's testing.
about with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember last year that Louis and I, the other fella, we spent quite a while trying to clear those debits and credits.
Yes, but those, Alan, they're nothing to do with the finance package. So everything up to the treasurer's dashboard, if you like, is integrated in the system. The finance
Voice
package
has gone again.
clips on the side. Sorry, Tim.
Your voice went again.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I think it's when I talk to the screen rather than talk to the other screen. Yes. Yeah. So, okay, right, fine. So the next stage then is you've got to, if you want to take credit card or debit card payments, you need to create a Stripe account. And a Stripe account is Stripe is a sort of an international company which collects all the credit card payments and then transfers it across into your bank account. I think probably most of you have already got one of these who want one, but the key parts of the Stripe account is that you need to link it up with your U3A web, and you do that with API keys. And these API keys, so you from your Stripe account, you go into the developer section, and then these API keys are here. And these are 2 keys. You have 2 keys for your test system, 2 keys for your live system, and you take this whole key here, for instance, there, which is called the publishable key. You copy it. And then you have to put that into the U3A web system, and before you can do that, you have to turn on credit cards. and it's called well, it's in my system, it's called card payments. You can switch it on and off as you want. So you have to turn on card payments for it to work. Because because in order to do that, you then need to look at. You won't see payment options unless you've turned it on. So this link here, payment options, which is in the Treasurer's sub menu. This tells you what this is the sort of link between Stripe and U3A Web, and in Stripe balances here, if you link it there, the bottom you get the 4 keys that you picked up from the Stripe. So if I go back there again, here are the 2 test ones. And then if you come out of test mode and go into live mode, you've now got 2 more. Oh, you've got one under there. You have to put the code in. I won't bother. But basically, you've got 2 more here, and those 2 go into these 4 go into those 4 sections there, and that establishes the link between U3A Web and Stripe. You also need to this thing called webhooks, which is a thing which Stripe uses to communicate the other way with U3A Web, and then you just need to. It's in the setup of the system. You do it once, and that's the rule. You step these 2 links up in Stripe. They're basically links back into the system. So this one here is every time you make a card payment, it sends this link back. Sorry, every time we've taken the option charge succeeded, and every time it does that, it goes off and sends this message back to U3A Web. It knows that you've created successfully the card, and then it will update the payment here in U3A Web to say that that the card payment is made. The second one is to do with transfer, and that's when Stripe at the end of a day, a week, or a month will transfer how much money they've got for you into your bank account, because you have to build the bank account linked to this. And this transfer here, every time it makes a transfer into your bank account, it sends a message again back to U3A Web to say you've done it. And if you are using the finance part of the system, it will start recording the transfers into the bank account as well. So if you go into the bank account side in U3A Web, it shows that the transfers have been made into your bank account. So this is what needs to be set up in Stripe before you can get things going. So.
Is that credit into the U3A website net of the charges that Stripe charge, or gross?
The way it sends it through, so when it does its the confirm side of it, it sends both through. It sends back to. I'll just show you. If we go into the Treasurer's dashboard. So here's somebody who's made an online payment. Oh, Bernie Jones. Yes.
Bernie Jones. Sorry.
Yes. So there was a small one there. Test letter's probably better one, 66 pence. So here's your 1402 is the charge. 1402 paid, but there is also a charge. The fee of 66 pence comes through. So you've got 2 separate entries. So the system has 2 entries, one for the fee and one for the payment. So they're both. So from a member's point of view, so if we have a look at test letter here from a member's point of view, it doesn't show the fee. It just shows the fact that they paid their 1402. It doesn't show the fee payment, but in the finances, it shows how much the fees are.
Yeah. But we also get an email comes through from Stripe telling us on a monthly basis how much they paid us.
Right. Okay. So yes, so once the you've set up Stripe for you can then if you turn on the correct thing on the left hand side here, and you've sent your renewal out, and the guy and whoever this is setup administrator is the name, their account. So it will come up on the left hand side here that you've got a payment due, and so they can either make the payment through their email where you've got your auto login, and that you can make the payment that way, or you can come log into the system here, and with the make a payment menu entry here, click on it, and it will now give you the option to make a payment. Because you can make payments for groups, subscriptions, or levies as Neil calls them, and membership, and you can make payments for other people as well by linking them together. The first thing, if there are multiple payments to make, it will give you a list of all the ones that are due. This is the user, and they can make it, and they can suggest, they can then click on the ones that they want to pay. So if they want to then pay, they pay the £12 for Tony Blair. I think they've already paid their own, but if they now pay the £12 for Tony Blair, because they're linked together, then they can do that, and you can make the payment. And so that's the interface with Stripe working there. The system itself never sees that card number, never sees any of their financial information at all. It's sort of passed through to Stripe, and Stripe have got all the sort of controlled certifications that allow them to take those things. U3A Web doesn't take that information at all. All it does is Stripe tells it, I've had a £14 payment from this particular person, and what happens? It takes about a minute to take place. So if we go into Tony Blair, their financial history, there it says membership renewal 2024, paid for by me, £12, and then and what you get is this number here, which is the reference number that if you need to go back to Stripe, the system's set up so you don't have to use Stripe at all, but because all the information that's held on Stripe is held in U3A Web, but if you do, then this is the code, and you can just take that code and go into Stripe and do a search on that code number, and here it is in Stripe. So that's the payment that's just been made. Okay, so that's that, and of course it's credit cards and debit cards. You can do any of those.
Can I ask a question, Chris, that you may be coming to anyhow? But
Yep. That's
relevant,
yeah.
relevant to renewals. If you email all your members, say 30 days before renewal is due, you would have an email one, I think it is. We hope you will renew, etc., etc.
Yep.
But if you want to change the date and remind it again after renewal is finished, they've not renewed, do you have to keep changing the text of that email instead of saying, your renewal will be due, or does it automatically change it? You have not renewed, sort of thing.
Right. Okay. So the aim was firstly the standard email, which is email renewal reminder. That's the basic one that's sent out from the system when you run the renewal process. You can. I was saying earlier, you can run this more than once, but I don't think people tend to do it, because I think the second option is if you want to actually send a reminder to say, right, you should have paid on the 1st of May and you haven't paid yet. You use the reminder process, which first of all you set the date. You set a date here in the mem reminder date, and you say that on the 1st of May, which is when you set that to 0105 or whatever, and on that day it will send out reminders to anybody who has not paid their 2024 renewal. And this time it uses this format. So you've got a separate format there that you can use for that. Again, similarly, you've got the template at the bottom here where you can put all the various bits and pieces. So you can have a second email which says pay up. And then, of course, if you want to, you can use that multiple times. You know, if you then go and change the date to a week later and then run it again 7 days later, it will send out another set of reminders to people who haven't paid.
I see. So 2 separate emails. You've called, I think by default, the first one is called email 1. You've changed the name of yours.
I think so. Yes. Yes, that's right. And it's a little bit confusing, I suppose. You know, that it enables you to call it what you want, but obviously when I'm telling you, it's difficult to relate the two together. But
and to change the name, do you just right-click it and change the name?
no, you to change anything in systems details, you go into the features list. Yeah. And you click it on this right thing here. So if you want to change, you can change the description and its name, and also on what's the sequence in which it comes out.
Right.
There. Right. Okay. So when somebody does pay, from a financial point of view, you get the you get the items that we've just been looking at, the charge raised and the payment. But on, so if we go back to Tony Blair, you also got the history. And so now by doing that payment I've just done, there is now a history entry for that, for Tony, for that year. And it's key that this is the key thing which decides whether or not this person is a member for the year or not. If you've got a history record for Tony Blair for 24-25, then he's a member for that year. So whenever you're looking for member, whether it's a member or not, this is the key thing. It doesn't matter how much he's paid or not paid or whatever it is. It's this history record which determines that he's paid. So if you do run renewals, for instance, again, it looks in here, looks there to see if there's a 24 on there to decide whether or not to run the renewal again. It looks also the reminders, the one we've just spoken about, that also looks here and on the history record to see if there's a history record. And you can do this manually if you want to. You know, if you can add a history record if it hasn't got one, and for any reason there's always exceptions. You can just add a history record here for that so I can't show you because it doesn't go up to 2024. So I'll make sure that does that. I'll put that into 12 before we release it.
With that screen that you just had about adding a member's history.
Yeah.
When I make a mistake, what I usually do is click on check when they've paid by cash or vice versa. It would be quite useful in that add to members history if I could also alter whether it was check, bank transfer, Stripe or cash, but that option isn't there.
You mean if you do that here and
you see the options there for me to choose doesn't give the payment type option.
Right. The reason it's not there is because that's not where it's recorded. It's not recorded in that thing. It's just, it goes off and finds it. It goes and looks for when it produces this list, it goes off and looks at the finance side of the thing to see where the payment was made. That's why it's not there.
Okay.
So you'd have to you'd have to go back to. So what you're saying that you put it in wrong, are you? And you wanted to change it?
I've put in check when it was cash on occasion, yes, or vice
Yeah.
versa.
Right. Yes. So so what you'd end up doing probably is reversing out that probably a little bit long-winded, but you can reverse this. You can reverse out the payment and then put it in again with the correct source in.
Can you? Oh, right.
Yes. So you'd have to. Let's go back. So let's take a check payment. So there's a check payment here for £5. The first thing you can do is click on refund and that will just reverse it, and then you could go through and put in the £5 payment again, and this time you just select cash or whatever the other one is.
Okay, thank you.
I think I'm probably coming to the end of my list. We've run over a little bit, and I haven't done joiners, and perhaps we could do joiners another time.
Can I ask a question just
Sure.
before you stop? On my list of members, I've got credit cards against some of their names, which allows me to take credit card payment over the phone and type it straight in.
Yeah.
Right. Now, they don't all have credit cards against their names. And I've just been through looking, and obviously a lot of them no longer need renewing because we're in the middle of the process. But I've got 2 people who have already renewed, have got credit cards against them, against their names, which is weird, but not a problem. And there are a lot of people who haven't renewed, but who don't have credit cards against their names. So I can't take the payment that way. I have to go in and log as the member to do it. I don't do it often, but I don't know why they don't all have credit cards against their names when they owe money because they haven't renewed yet.
Right. I think the first thing I would suggest is that maybe there is in previous years, maybe there is a financial transaction which is still unsettled, like Alan was talking about earlier on. These credits and things like that have creeped through, and if it doesn't, I'm not saying.
I just looked at that while you were talking about that, and I'm showing I think about 10 people with weird money that doesn't add up, but that's not enough people to explain this phenomenon.
Well, if you send me a couple of examples, I'll find out, both sides which one, and I'll find out why they all shouldn't, can or can't do it.
Yeah, okay. I can take the payment by logging in as them, so it knows there's a payment required.
Oh right, yeah. You mean you can do
the member log in as admin.
Yes.
But so that is so useful. That's really wonderful. But the fact that there's credit cards against a small number of names, but not against the ones that I always seem to want is weird. Okay, I'll send you some examples.
Do that, and we'll have a little look. Right. Yes.
Christopher, from memory, I believe that what Angela is talking about is the reason that we had to clear those credits and debits. If they got those credits and debits in there, it doesn't show the credit card icon, and you can't do a thing with them. And that was.
But I just looked at that, and they're not showing credits and debits.
Oh right, because I remember that when we did it, that was why Louis and I went through it, because people were coming up and we're going, how the hell do we take their credit card payment?
No, they can take a payment because then I can log in as them and pay it. But I'm just not seeing the card icon against their name in the members directory. But the payment will go through on the card, all right?
In the oh right, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, I'll have a little look and and let you know if you can send it through to me. So, okay, I think probably hopefully that's covered the renewals.
There is one more quick stage, Chris, that you've left out, and that's the suspension.
Yes, that's true. I haven't gone that far, have I? Yes.
No, and that's one that, well, God Almighty, do we ever get we get cracking on for 200 people suspended every year?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, well, essentially, it's a very simple process. It's from the system point of view. It may not be from a practical point of view, but these things are all set. It's like requesting the renewal. It's done here. Suspend unpaid, and if you click on that, it says, do you want to confirm that you do want to do it? And if I clicked on there, it doesn't do it immediately. It does it overnight. And I'm trying to remember, does it send out an email or not? It does it?
Yes. Yeah.
It does. It sends out an email saying pay up or else. Okay. Yeah. And then you've got the second one that you can do, which is delete suspend, which will go through and look at all the people who haven't yet paid after you did before and delete them. And this doesn't send, or does it? I don't think it does then send an email, does it?
No, don't think so.
No, they don't. They get the you haven't paid, you have been suspended, but they don't get one saying you're out. Three strikes and you're gone.
Yeah, no, I think that was done because at one point we did have it, and it was sending deletion emails to people who'd have passed away.
Yes.
Chris, I was just looking at that on our constitution, which is probably a standard U3A one.
Yeah.
And that says that you can't suspend until 2 months after renewal date.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Is it 2 months you'd use?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. I didn't know there was a particular time limit or threshold.
Yeah, we start our renewals, I believe it's on the 1st of July, and we suspend on the 1st of September, and they stay suspended for the whole of September. On the 1st of October, they're gone.
So what's your actual? What's your members' renewal? Sorry, Terry, go on.
But the system doesn't prevent you suspending and deleting at any point, does it?
Oh no.
Just pointing out that legally we have to. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It will do it. It will do it anytime you click the suspend unpaid. Yes, that's true. So So what is actually your member renewal date then, Alan?
Right. Our year ends on the 30th of August.
The membership year.
Yeah. So we suspend on the 1st of September. They get, I think it's cracking on. They get July and August to pay their fee because we start the renewal process in July. So they get July and August. So that's 8 weeks. And then on the 1st of September, they get suspended. On the 30th of September, that's when we delete.
Right. Yes.
And one of the biggest advantages to this suspension that we find is the fact that in the group list, so long as the group leaders keep their group lists up to date, of course, is they shoot at the people that haven't paid that are suspended, shoot at the bottom of the list. So the group leaders know that they've been suspended. And when they turf up at the meeting after the 1st of September, they can go, you haven't paid, you need to contact the membership secretary.
And they're nicely in red.
Yes, they're in red. They drop to the bottom. They don't get emails if you select the emails the right way. And it does tend to promote during September. We get an awful lot of people go, oh, I forgot to renew. Can you renew it for me? So we get a lot that renew in September.
Yeah, because the leader also gets the note that they've been suspended. So they tend to get onto them.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're a group leader, can you get suspended?
No.
Right.
It's
Yes.
The membership secretary is advised at some point, I can't remember exactly where it is, that a group leader hasn't paid and should be suspended, but hasn't been suspended. They don't get suspended because otherwise it mucks up the whole group.
Yeah.
It's when you get the email from the system to tell you who's been suspended and who hasn't after you've run the process.
Ah, right. Okay.
It tells you these people are group leaders.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
But you can suspend individually as well.
Oh, yeah, you can do anything you like to them.
Yeah, but it does. I'm just saying, it's not just a single button that says all unpaid people are suspended. That's all.
Yeah, you've got two processes. One's a sort of the mass one, and one's the individual one. Yes. Yeah, and that's where again you've got the choice of when you do that, you've got the choice of whether or not to send them an email as well, or you can just say don't do it, or do it but don't tell them we've done it because maybe for that reason they've died or something. Yeah. Right, good. Okay. Any questions? Any more question points or things I've missed out, which is probably some?
Just one, Chris.
Yep.
You probably remember at Wrexham, we have a new member fee and a renewal fee, which makes more work for me because I have to convert every member from new to renewal, or they'll be charged too much next time. Yeah.
No, you don't have to do that.
No, well, that's what I'm going to ask the question. What else? This is all the year through. It's not a certain time. Any time in the year, we want to charge new members a bit more.
Yes, right. Okay, so you do that by looking at the membership type. So if you've got full membership, and let's say your 2025 membership is £23, but you want to charge any new members during the year £25,
yeah,
you do that. You can fill in along here £25, or you might so if you put 25 in all those, any new member will be charged £25, whatever month they are.
Right. And any renewal member won't be charged that.
The renewed member will be charged 23.
Becoming a bit of a pain to remember to keep changing them all the time.
Oh, absolutely, yes. So this it can save you doing that by just setting it up in this way. So even if they only joining sort of a month or so before the end of the year, they still pay the higher value, do they?
Well, no, we're quite generous there. What we say is our renewal year, our year starts 1st of May, but if you join in January, February, March, etc., we'll give you like 15 months membership for the same price.
Yes, right. So what you're doing is setting your free period.
Yes.
As of the 1st of January, renewal on the 1st of May.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We even put a nice message on the main website saying, we'd love you to join us, but why don't you wait till January and you'll get extra for your money?
Yes. Yes. Right. Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
One question, Chris, probably completely different. Why is it I can't print out some of the user documentation?
Well, there are two ways to print out the user documentation. What if we go into the where's it called? User documentation. So you're not getting this printer page at the top left then?
Yes, I'm getting it. I'm getting it displayed, but when I not it. I can't. When I try and print something, it doesn't. And yet another thing, I can print.
Right. So which page can you print?
The members directory one. I couldn't. Wouldn't print it. Yes, at membership. Yeah, right at the bottom, the members directory. I clicked on print this page. Nothing. Didn't get this at all.
So you're not getting that?
No.
What machine are you using?
Windows.
And your browser?
Browser's Firefox.
Oh, so maybe a Firefox issue then.
Might be, but then I did manage to print. I think securing your data. I displayed that, and it printed it.
Right. So some work, some don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it may be that it's failing, in Firefox to do it. So
yeah, okay. Well, I'll try it through Edge and see what makes a difference. Okay.
Mr. Shoebury, I don't know your name. Oh, we've got it. Tim, hello, Tim.
Hi.
If you send me an email at website help@peterborough3a.org.uk, send me an email and we'll have a little dialogue. I may be able to help you out.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Right.
I will do. Magic.
You've also got the right click you can try.
Well, I went up to file and then click print, and all it just shows me is the header and the vertical menu option. But that's what I see. I see that, and nothing else.
Oh, interesting.
Actually, I just tried it in Firefox, and I haven't managed to print anything that I've clicked on. So it might be a Firefox issue.
Sorry, you have been able to. Or
I use Firefox, and I've just while you were talking, I've just tried it, and it doesn't it doesn't print anything
Ah,
off of that screen. That of those that I've tried. So I think it probably is a Firefox issue.
Yeah, I tried Firefox and it just gives you the same page back again.
Yeah, yeah.
right. Okay. I'll have a look at that then, because it might be there's another instruction or something that because to do it. I'll have a look. Print in Firefox. Yeah.
Chris, I'm in Windows and I've just done your right click and print and I get exactly the same. All I get is the menu system. I don't get any of the text.
Okay.
And that's on a Windows machine.
Yeah.
Using Windows 10.
Yeah. It's more. I think it's more the browser that's the problem rather than that. What's your browser you're using?
Chrome.
Right. Okay. So I'll have a look at. Yeah. I'll have a look at that. That's only printing the menus, the side menu, isn't it? If you use that one.
Yeah.
Although you don't really, if it's got print this page, and the print this page works all right in Chrome, doesn't it?
Right. Print this page at the top of the page does work. You get all the text, but if you right click and print, you just get the menu.
Okay. Right. Fine. Okay. I'll have a look at that as well then.
Thanks, Chris.
All right. Good. Okay. So what we're going to do is talk about next time's session. You know, I had down authorities, systems details, and joiners. And if they're still the ones that want to do, or does anybody else want anything else that we should like to go through?
One other thing regarding members, is there any sort of data format standards? For instance, telephone numbers seem to be just one line of characters, whereas I just wonder whether it should like dialing code space and then a number. I mean, what
Yes.
is there a standard?
Yes, what you should do, because it causes problems, is you should put in the exchange card. For instance, ours is 01733. You then put a space and you then put the actual telephone number. The reason being because in your database, if you export to an Excel spreadsheet, it loses the leading zero. If you put a space in there, it doesn't lose the leading zero. Causes all kinds of problems if you don't put that space in between the exchange code and the telephone number.
Perfect, thank you.
I mean, strictly speaking, it should be +44 space.
Oh no!
The dialing code without the leading zero, and then another space, and then the rest of the number.
But yeah, it's something you could actually put. Well, well, of course, they're different length codes, aren't they? Because the mobile ones are different lengths to the standard ones. So I don't think the system can. Yeah, I think it's you're not going to get your users to do that, are you?
Yeah. Well, what we tend to do is, with you're saying about mobiles, for instance, my mobile number is 07802, which is the network that you're using, so that's 5 digits. Our exchange code is 01733, which is 5 digits, so it's always 5 digits.
Is it
No,
always?
it's not, no, it isn't. In Southampton, it's 023, and then the number begins with 80.
Yeah,
And a
then
lot
you've
of
got
people think the code is 02380, but it isn't. It's 023.
then you've got London
So
and
you can't-
Manchester different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will admit that if we're going to start getting technical, director areas are totally different, which is London, Manchester, Birmingham, etc., etc. But for the provinces, for instance, Southampton, you're saying it's, what was it again for Southampton?
023, it's just 3.
Right, 023. Okay, that's the exchange, the 80 that you said about, then puts you into a specific exchange. So that's still an exchange code.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, I was just thinking, when you join the member, you get a chance to sort of look through what you've typed.
Yeah.
Before you accept them, so that's the obvious point to put the space in, isn't it? So I'll start doing that.
Yeah, our membership secretary now always puts a space in after the first 5 digits.
Chris, could I just come back with a question? It's back to Workspace. I've just had an email. The person that was dealing with Workspace is no longer doing it. So I'm having to change things to my phone number. His phone is the recovery phone number, and any confirmation numbers go to that. So we've been trying to change it in Workspace.
Is he an
It's easy to
administrator?
change when you're not in Workspace.
Is he an
but once you get into-
administrator, Dee?
Sorry?
Is he an administrator?
He's administrator, yeah.
Well, you'd have to get him to do it. I'm going to say if he's not an
He's trying.
administrator.
He's in Gran Canaria at the moment, and he's been trying to do it. But the problem seems to be that once you're into Workspace, that we can't get anything up that says change your recovery phone number.
No,
It
not
doesn't
if he's
seem
the
to-
administrator. You won't. You really need
Well,
more than
he-
one
he-
administrator.
Sorry, say that again.
And it really need more than one administrator because then the other one could do it for you.
Well, that's what I'm going to be.
Yeah.
He's stepping back, and I'm doing
No, but
that.
what I
but
mean
at
is
the moment,
you need two permanently, so that if one of you is unavailable, the other one can do it.
Yeah.
so
but
is there a way that we can change that recovery phone number from his to mine? We
No,
don't seem
Yes.
to be able to.
Yeah, there is a way, yeah, because you've got to look. You have to, but it's long and drawn out. You have to go. You click on a link, and it says right. It'll take 48 hours for us to reply and all this sort of stuff. And
Yeah.
you have to go through Google to do it. You can do it
All right.
because I assume if
Oh.
you know if he drops his phone down a drain or something, you've got to find some way of doing it. Yes.
Okay, if we know that's the way you've got to do it, and we can't do it, ourselves, then okay, that's fine. Well, thank you very much for that.
Yeah, perhaps one of the other ways is to put somebody else's different email address and somebody else different phone. So you've got two different people, and then there's two different ways of recovering them.
I see, and then that one could be me.
What's
Yes.
stopping him doing it from the Canaries?
He's on holiday.
No, I know that, but does he send him a 6-digit code?
Yes, it goes to his mobile. The confirmation codes and
Yeah, just
everything.
send-
We've been doing it on Zoom today.
He should just, if he gives that to you, you should be able to get in then. Well,
my
no,
number.
you just need that to log in initially into his account, and then once you're in it, then you can change his recovery email and phone number.
Yeah, but Neil, it's not quite as easy as that. Doing all this. I
Oh yeah,
managed.
well you've been involved in it.
I changed the number and completely removed that particular number from the account, and it still sent it back to the original number to actually verify it, even though the number didn't exist anymore anywhere.
No, but what I mean is, if you only want to get into the account, and they're saying you're going to have to put that in to actually access the account. If Dee receives it from him, just gets the 6-digit code and puts it in, she will be in the account.
Well, I can try that and see how we get on.
I mean, I take it you're trying to log in, that is sending him a code because it won't let you.
No, well, he was logging in this morning,
Well,
and
it's
then
fine for him.
but we want to change the
Yeah, but only
account, so-
only he can do it unless you do as Chris says and contact Google.
Right. Okay. So we'll see what we can do then. Okay.
If it's anybody else, if it's just a standard user, the administrator can change it all.
Yeah. Well, we've changed the one that we've got that isn't in Workspace. We've been able to change
No, I mean,
that.
if you've got other users in Workspace, if they're not administrators, the administrator can administer anything in their account, i.e. can change the password.
Yeah, so you need two
Yeah,
administrators.
you do
really.
need two administrators, yeah.
Yeah, that's the bottom line, isn't it?
Okay, well, we'll try and get me up as an administrator. There was one other tiny point, which has nothing to do with what we've been doing now, Chris, is that I no longer seem to be able to add venues to the venue list. There used to be a little cross up at the top, so you can add new venues, and it seems to have disappeared.
You're probably
I-
using
well,
the
maybe
wrong,
it's a-
probably using the wrong menu.
No, wait, we've got the left-hand menu at left. It said, and you can't. When
Yeah,
I
but
go in as on the system.
Yeah, there's two venue
Yeah.
lists though. There's two venue lists. If you look in the side menu, setup.
I'll have a look at it for you, Dean. And send you a note.
Yeah. Okay, if you could, Chris. Okay, thanks. Sorry.
Anything else, anybody? Anybody got any suggestions on what we do the next time?
You were going to do groups at some point. I mean, not
Okay.
next time. If you've got other things on for next time, but maybe the one after that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And
Point.